Now, let's go into the conducting of an interview. The interviewer's demeanor. Establish a good rapport. Get the person that you are going to interview, that you're going to ask, to feel ease with you. Ask a couple of easy to satisfy small favors from the interview before formally starting. Are they comfortable? Do they feel warm, too hot, too cold? Is the chair comfortable for them? Are they hungry? Do they want a cup of coffee? Do they want a glass of water? Be efficient, courteous, polite, and careful with language used during interviews. Do not talk down to a person. If you're going to be interviewing, for example, a plumber, do not turn up in your suit. That will make the individual very, very, very threatened. So be at their own level. If they're coming in their work clothes, be casual as well. Use short questions confined to one topic, which can be clearly and easily understood. Maintain full control of the interview. Conversation management is very important and essential. There are 5 types of questions: introductory, informational, assessment, closing, and admission-seeking questions. There are basic elements of effective conversation: expression, persuasion, therapy, ritual, and informational exchange. Now, what are some inhibitors of communication? Competing demands for time, threatened decoys, etiquette, trauma, forgetting, chronological confusion, inferential confusion, unconscious behavior. What are some facilitators? Fulfilling expectations, recognition, altruistic appeals, sympathetic, new experience, catharsis, need for meaning, and extrinsic rewards. What are the mechanics of a good interview? Make physical contact. Hello, how are you? My name is so-and-so. How are you feeling today? Establish the purpose of the interview. Tell them why they are there. Don't interview more than one person at a time. Don't have a couple of people in the room with you. Conduct the interview in private. Get a commitment for assistance. I really need your help. I really need your comments on this. Can I please have some help? Establish a transitional statement. Seek continuous agreement. Do not invade the body space. Don't come too close. Don't hug them. Don't touch them. Questioning should proceed from the general to the specific. That is, seek general information before details are sought. Procedure is especially helpful should documents from a particular interview be compelled. You must be knowledgeable about respondents' behavior during interviews. Be sure to formulate your questions in a way that does not elicit strong emotional reactions. Don't ask a question that's going to force the individual to start crying. Once the introduction has been completed, transition to the body of the interview. Use senses to establish a norm. Do not stare or call attention to the person's behavior. Be aware of the respondent's entire body. Observe the timing and the consistency of their behavior. Note clusters of behaviors. Refrain from asking the next question until the individual has exhausted all the information he is going to provide. Don't interrupt them. The interviewer has had the opportunity to prod the individual with comments such as, what else? Go on, tell me more. Tell me what happened. Spend a minimal amount of time talking, no more than 15% of the time. Allow the subject the opportunity to answer without interruption. Allow a few moments of silence between questions. Consider who can confirm the information. Encourage the subject to speak. Obtain biographical data and contact information for the subject. Initial and date the notes. Document the interviewer's questions. Take adequate notes after the interview to allow you to prepare the report. Now, there are sometimes difficult people. How do you deal with them? 65% of respondents will refuse an interview if contacted first by telephone, so they're just not going to come to the interview. 33% will refuse if contacted first by person. So how do you deal with difficult people? Now, typically involve close friends. Volatile interviews is when it involves or you have to interview a close friend, a relative, a suspect, who is your co-worker, who is a similar individual than you, who you see at the childcare center every morning. important points. Tough guys don't get confessions. So if you go in as a tough guy wanting to bully someone, you're not going to get a confession. Do your homework before your interview. Know as much as you can about the suspect before the interview. Their religion. What do they care about? What makes them tick? Their family, their reputation. Have a plan and be confident. Rehearse if you have to. Small talk on your way to the interview. What do you do if you have 50 suspects in one day? Do you ask them 5 questions? You need to have a plan. At the interview room, it is suggested that this room has no windows, that it is small, there are 2 chairs, no posters, no signs, it is quiet, and a very small glass window by the door if you must be interrupted. Interruptions set you back. They come at the worst time. Just when you have established a rapport, somebody interrupts you. So avoid interruptions. Establish empathy, care, compassion. Show genuine compassion. Can't do that with interruptions. Now, the PACE method that has been recommended in 1992 in England, planning and preparation, engage and explain, account and clarification, closure and evaluation. Be ethical. Maintain ethical standards when you are investigating. Don't be a jerk. Now, what are these ethical considerations you need to consider? Using covert or accomplice informants, accessing private material. Do not use unethical behavior. Reveal all material matters. So it's important that the person in front of you knows exactly what you are investigating. Avoid stating an opinion on the guilt or innocence of any particular person. So don't tell them that I think you're guilty. That's not your place to do. Representativeness, consistency, suppression of bias, accuracy, correctability. You must be ethical. Establish your standards, reasonable oversight with respect to the implementation and effectiveness. Designate an ethics officer in your organization. You know, many companies have a code of conduct. Very few have an ethical program. Even far less have an ethics officer or a compliance officer that deals with ethics. Monitor the ethics program. Hire ethical employees. Do a background check on these employees. Give incentives to people when they are ethical. Consider using professional ethical standards set out by ACFE. What ACFE is suggesting is that you have to have commitment to professionalism, illegal or unethical conduct, professional competences, lawful orders of the court, basis for opinion, confidential information should remain confidential, reveal material matters, increase professional competence. Be prudent. When do you dispel professional skepticism? Do not offer an opinion or attestation about a fraud-related environment or corruption-related environment. I have listed a number of references for you. Should you want to read more about fraud and corruption, about profiling, about investigation. But in any case, please feel free to contact me should you want to. Thank you so much for your time. And I will be available should you have any questions, or you can email me. Thank you so much. Krambia-Kapardis, Cyprus University of Technology. Thank you.